Let's start the story that will blow your mind. First, start with part 1, the prank wars. Begin, twin telepathy or pure chaos. Sam and Henry had always been inseparable. As identical twins, they looked exactly alike. Same curly brown hair, same mischievous grin, same knack for getting into trouble. But where Sam was the mastermind, Henry was the actor. Together, they were unstoppable. It all started on the first day of summer break. Their small town of Willow Creek was buzzing with excitement. The annual summer fair was just around the corner, and for the first time, the twins had saved up enough to enter the grand prize competition, the ultimate prankster showdown. "All right, Henry," Sam said, leaning over their shared bedroom desk. "This summer, we take the crown. No one, and I mean no one, is safe." Henry smirked. "Not even each other?" Sam hesitated. "Well, maybe just a little, but no hard feelings, right?" Henry extended his hand. "No hard feelings. May the best twin win." The next morning, the war began. The first strike. The juice switcheroo. Henry started simple. He knew their mom always made fresh orange juice for breakfast, so he carefully replaced Sam's glass with a cup of thick, pulpy carrot juice. The moment Sam took a sip, his face contorted like he'd bitten into a lemon. "Ugh! What is this?" he sputtered. Henry grinned. "Just giving you your daily veggies, bro." Sam wiped his tongue with his napkin. "Oh, it's on." The revenge. The talking mirror. Sam's turn came later that evening. He knew Henry always checked his reflection before bed. So Sam hid a small speaker behind the bathroom mirror and, using a voice-changing app, whispered, "Henry, I see everything you do." Henry jumped back, his eyes wide. "What? Who said that?" "I am the mirror spirit, and I know your secrets. Like that time you blamed Sam for breaking Grandma's vase." Henry gasped. "No way!" Just then, Sam burst into laughter from behind the door. Henry groaned. "You are so going to pay for this." The ultimate prank. Telepathic twins or pure chaos. Word of their prank war spread. Their best friend Lily watched in amusement. "You two are nuts," she said, munching on popcorn. "But what if we convince everyone you have real twin telepathy?" The twins exchanged a glance. "Go on." With Lily's help, they planned the most elaborate trick yet. That Saturday, at the town square, the twins stood in front of a growing crowd. "We will now demonstrate our telepathic bond," Henry declared. Sam, blindfolded, stood on one side while Henry faced the crowd. Lily handed Henry a set of objects: a red apple, a rubber duck, a playing card. Each time Henry held one up, Sam, with secret signals from Lily, miraculously guessed it right. "It's magic!" someone shouted. "No, it's twin telepathy!" gasped another. Everything was going perfectly until their little cousin Max, the self-declared prank police, ran up and yanked Lily's signaling hand. "It's a scam!" he cried. The crowd gasped. Sam and Henry looked at each other, then bolted, laughing all the way home. As they collapsed onto their beds, Henry grinned. "Truce?" Sam smirked. "For now, but just wait till tomorrow." If you like the story, stay tuned, we'll continue. Part 2. The mysterious locket. Why does one twin keep it hidden? The next morning, Sam woke up to a strange sight. Henry hunched over his nightstand, clutching something small in his hand. Sam rubbed his eyes. "What are you hiding?" Henry jumped and quickly shoved the object into his pajama pocket. "Nothing. Just an old toy." Sam wasn't convinced. "Let me see." Henry shook his head. "Nope, it's personal." Now this was unusual. The twins shared everything: clothes, games, even their worst pranks. But this was different. That entire day, Henry kept the object, a small silver locket, hidden. He fidgeted with it, checking his pocket every few minutes. He even skipped lunch, which for Henry was unheard of. Sam knew something was up. That evening, while Henry was in the shower, Sam saw his chance. He rummaged through his brother's drawer and found it, the mysterious locket. He clicked it open. Inside, there was a tiny, faded photo of a woman neither twin recognized. On the opposite side, a date was engraved, July 18th, 1995. "What is this?" Sam whispered to himself. Just then, Henry burst into the room, his hair dripping wet. "Sam, what are you doing?" Sam held up the locket. "Who is she, and why are you keeping this secret?" Henry's face darkened. I don't know. I found it buried in our backyard last week. And I swear, Sam, sometimes at night I hear a woman's voice whispering my name." A shiver ran down Sam's spine. "Are you messing with me?" Henry shook his head. "I wish I was." At that moment, the bedroom light flickered, and a cold breeze swept through the room, even though the window was closed. The twins exchanged nervous glances. Sam swallowed hard. "Looks like we have a mystery to solve." Stay tuned there. Lot more on your way to blow your mind. Part 3. The Talent Show Trap. Who sabotaged the magic act? The mysterious locket had left Sam and Henry with more questions than answers. But as much as they wanted to dig deeper into its origins, the town's annual summer talent show was only 2 days away, and they had a performance to perfect. The twins had been planning their magic act for months. Sam was the illusionist, Henry the showman. Their final trick? A disappearing act so convincing that the audience would swear Henry had vanished into thin air. Only, someone didn't want them to succeed. Rehearsal gone wrong. The night before the show, the twins set up their trick in their garage. The routine was simple. Henry would step inside a tall wooden box. Sam would close the doors, say the magic words, and poof, Henry would vanish. Unbeknownst to the audience, a secret door in the back would allow Henry to slip out unseen. They had practiced 100 times, but on their final rehearsal, something went terribly wrong. Sam shut the doors, said the magic words, and pulled the latch, but Henry didn't reappear. "Henry!" Sam called, expecting his brother to pop out from behind the curtain. Silence. Sam's stomach tightened. He yanked open the box. Empty. Then, a muffled pounding. Sam spun toward the back of the garage. Henry's voice was coming from inside their dad's locked tool cabinet. "How did you—" Sam rushed over and flung the door open. Henry tumbled out, eyes wide with panic. I don't know what happened," Henry gasped. "1 second I was slipping out of the box. The next, I was locked in there." They stared at each other. "Someone sabotaged the trick," Sam whispered. Henry nodded. "But who?" The sabotage continues. The next day at the town theater, every contestant was backstage, setting up. The twins scanned the room. Could one of these people be the culprit? There was Lily, their best friend, adjusting her microphone for her singing act. Max, their nosy cousin, practicing his juggling routine. And then there was Chad Parker, the reigning talent show champion, polishing his golden trophy from last year. Chad caught them looking and smirked. "Hope you two don't choke up there," he said, tossing his trophy from hand to hand. Sam and Henry exchanged a glance. Was Chad trying to psych them out, or was he behind the sabotage? Showtime, and a trap is set. The lights dimmed. The audience hushed. One by one, acts performed. Singers, dancers, even a dog that could balance on a basketball. Then, finally, it was the twins' turn. Sam and Henry had a plan. This time, they added a hidden camera inside the magic box. If someone tampered with the trick again, they'd catch them. Henry stepped inside. Sam shut the doors. He muttered the magic words, abracadabra, alakazam, and pulled the latch. Bang! The box collapsed in on itself like it had been kicked apart. The crowd gasped. Sam's heart pounded. Henry was gone. Then, a figure appeared in the rafters above, struggling to get free. Henry! He was hanging upside down, tangled in the stage ropes. "What is happening?" Henry shouted. The audience thought it was part of the act and burst into applause. But Sam knew better. Someone had sabotaged them again, and this time, they nearly got hurt. Catching the culprit. After the show, Sam grabbed the hidden camera from inside the magic box. He and Henry huddled over the screen. There, a shadowy figure crept up just before their performance and tied Henry's escape hatch shut. Sam squinted. "Enhance it." Henry rolled his eyes. "This isn't a spy movie, dude." Still, they rewound the footage, pausing at the culprit's face. Their jaws dropped. It wasn't Chad. It wasn't Max. It wasn't even another contestant. It was Lily. If you still like this story, stay continue. Trust me, you will be happy to hear this till end. Part 4. Secret Notes and Code Words. Is there a third twin? Sam and Henry stared at the paused footage on the tiny camera screen. Their best friend Lily had sabotaged their magic act. "But why?" Henry whispered. Sam shook his head. "Only one way to find out." They turned to see Lily standing near the backstage exit, nervously biting her lip. When she saw them approaching, she bolted. "Hey, stop!" Sam shouted, but Lily was already sprinting through the crowded lobby. The twins darted after her, weaving through people until they burst out into the cool night air. Lily was fast, but Sam and Henry had been running races against each other their entire lives. They cornered her near the parking lot. "Lily, what's going on?" Henry panted. Her shoulders slumped. She hesitated, then reached into her hoodie pocket. "I was gonna tell you," she murmured. She pulled out a crumpled note and handed it to Sam. "The locket is the key. Stop asking questions, or else." The note wasn't signed. Sam's blood ran cold. "Where did you get this?" Lily looked guilty. "It was slipped into my locker this morning." "And you thought sabotaging us was the best way to protect us?" Henry asked, exasperated. Lily crossed her arms. "I didn't know what else to do. I figured if you lost the talent show, maybe whoever sent this would leave you alone." The twins exchanged uneasy glances. First, the mysterious locket. Then, the whispering voice. Now, threatening notes? Someone knew what they were up to, and they didn't want the twins finding out the truth. The midnight message. That night, Sam couldn't sleep. He kept turning the locket over in his fingers, staring at the faded photograph inside. Who was this woman? And why did someone want them to stop asking questions about it? Henry stirred in his bed across the room. "Still awake?" Sam nodded. "Yeah." A sudden tap, tap, tap on their bedroom window made them both sit up straight. "What was that?" Henry whispered. Another tap, tap. Sam cautiously crept to the window and peered out. A folded piece of paper was wedged under the windowsill. With shaky hands, he pulled it inside and unfolded it. There were only 3 words written in messy, urgent handwriting. "Check the basement. A hidden truth." The basement of their house was mostly used for storage. Old furniture, dusty holiday decorations, and a creepy wooden chest that had been there forever. Sam and Henry tiptoed down the stairs, using their phone flashlights to cut through the darkness. "Who do you think left the note?" Henry whispered. Sam shook his head. "No idea, but they want us to find something." Their eyes landed on the chest. It had always been locked. Their parents said it belonged to their great-grandfather, and that no one had opened it in years. But as the twins approached, they saw something strange. The lock was missing. Sam hesitated, then slowly lifted the lid. Inside, neatly stacked envelopes, old documents, and photographs filled the chest. But one thing made both twins gasp: a birth certificate. Not just any birth certificate, their birth certificate. Sam's hands shook as he read aloud. Baby A, Samuel Carter Evans. Baby B, Henry James Evans. Baby C. He stopped. His voice caught in his throat. Henry grabbed the paper and stared at it. His face turned pale. "Sam, it says there was a third baby." They looked at each other, their hearts pounding. "Are you saying we had a triplet?" Sam whispered. But before Henry could answer, a sudden thud sounded from upstairs. Someone else was in the house. To be continued. For more fun. Part 5, The Midnight Swap. Did they trade places or souls? Sam and Henry froze. A thud had come from upstairs. Someone was in the house. Henry quickly shoved the birth certificate back into the chest, but his hands were shaking. "Sam, this doesn't make sense. A third baby? We would have known if we had a triplet." Sam wasn't listening. He grabbed Henry's wrist and dragged him toward the basement door. "We'll deal with that later. Right now, we need to figure out who's up there." Another creak from above. Someone was moving. Sam cautiously peered up the basement stairs, his heart pounding in his ears. The hallway light flickered. Then, a shadow moved past the doorway. "Someone's in our room," Henry whispered. They crept upstairs, careful not to make a sound. As they reached their bedroom, Sam pushed the door open just an inch, and what they saw made their blood turn to ice. The impossible reflection. Standing inside their bedroom was Henry, or someone who looked exactly like him. The figure stood with his back to the door, staring at their shared dresser mirror. He reached up and ran a hand through his curly brown hair, identical to Henry's. Henry grabbed Sam's arm in panic. "What is that?" he whispered furiously. Sam swallowed hard. "I don't know, but it looks exactly like you." Henry's double suddenly tilted his head at an unnatural angle, like he had just heard something. Then, without turning around, he spoke. "I know you're there." Sam and Henry nearly fell backward. The figure slowly turned, revealing a face that was, without a doubt, Henry's. But something was off. His eyes. They weren't Henry's usual warm brown. They were gray, cold, empty. "Who are you?" Sam asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The double smirked. "That's a funny question, Sam. I should be asking you that." Then, without warning, the lights flickered and cut out completely. The swap. The room was pitch black. Sam's pulse raced. "Henry?" He reached out, but his hand met only air. A gust of freezing wind rushed past him, even though the windows were shut. Then, a chilling whisper echoed through the darkness. "One of you doesn't belong." The moment the lights flickered back on, Sam gasped. Henry was gone, but his double was still there, and he was smiling. A terrible realization. Sam backed away, his mind racing. "Where's Henry? What did you do to him?" The fake Henry tilted his head again, like he was testing his own movements. Then he grinned. "Relax, Sam," he said in an eerily casual tone. "I just took my place." Sam felt dizzy. "Your place?" The double stepped forward. I don't think you get it yet. Henry and I, we were always meant to switch. It's just, fate took a little longer to make it happen. Sam clenched his fists. You're lying. The double sighed. Am I? Then he reached into his pocket and pulled out something silver. The locket. The same mysterious locket Henry had been hiding. But now, something was different. The locket was open, and inside, Henry's side of the photo was missing. Sam's stomach dropped. Where's Henry? The double's smile widened. Gone. Sam lunged, but before he could grab the imposter, everything went black. A glimpse of the other side. Sam's head spun. His body felt weightless, like he was floating through space. Then, he heard something. A faint knocking. At first, it sounded distant, but then it grew louder, more desperate. Knock, knock, knock. Sam! It was Henry's voice. Knock, knock. Sam, help me! Sam's eyes flew open. He was no longer in his bedroom. He was somewhere else, somewhere dark. Shadows swirled around him, stretching and shifting like they were alive. The air was cold, damp, like a place forgotten by time. And then, ahead of him, he saw Henry, trapped, banging against what looked like an invisible wall. Sam! Henry's voice was muffled, like he was speaking through thick glass. You have to get me out of here. Sam ran toward him, but suddenly a force yanked him backward. A voice whispered in his ear, one twin stays, one twin leaves. Sam's vision blurred. The shadows swallowed him whole, back in the real world. Sam gasped and jolted awake. He was back in his room. The imposter Henry stood by the dresser, looking annoyed. That was faster than I expected, the double muttered. Sam staggered to his feet. His mind was still reeling. Had he just seen where Henry was? Had he just switched places with him? Sam's fists clenched. Where is he? The double gave a lazy shrug. Now. We can't rush these things. Then he leaned in and whispered, but don't worry. Soon, you'll be joining him. To be continued. Part 6. Final showdown. Twin truths exposed at the carnival. Sam's pulse pounded in his ears. The imposter, his fake twin, was standing right in front of him, wearing Henry's face, speaking with Henry's voice. But Sam knew better. The real Henry was trapped, somewhere dark, somewhere wrong. And if Sam didn't act fast, Henry might never come back. The fake Henry smirked. You look tense, Sam. Maybe you should go lie down. I can handle things from here. Sam's hands clenched into fists. No way. If this thing wanted to steal Henry's life, it was in for a fight. A clue in the locket, then, Sam's eyes flicked to the silver locket in the imposter's hand. The same locket Henry had found in their backyard. The same locket that started everything. The imposter saw where Sam was looking and let out a low chuckle. Oh, you're finally putting it together, huh? He dangled the locket between two fingers. This little thing? It's not just a trinket, Sam. It's a doorway. Sam swallowed. A doorway to where? The imposter grinned. You already know. The shadow world. That dark, endless place where Sam had seen Henry banging against the invisible wall. The locket was connected to it, and it might be the only way to bring Henry back. But before Sam could make a move, the imposter snapped the locket shut, and everything in the room lurched. The walls groaned. The air grew thick. Sam felt a pressure building, like the whole world was bending around him. Then, the imposter vanished, like he had never been there, and in Sam's hand, the locket was gone. The carnival connection. Sam sat in stunned silence, his heart racing. The fake Henry had disappeared, but where? And why take the locket with him? Then, Sam's phone buzzed. A text from Lily. Meet me at the carnival. Now. It's about Henry. Sam didn't waste a second. Secrets under the Ferris wheel. The carnival was alive with flashing lights, music, and the smell of fried food. Families laughed, children screamed on rides, and yet, Sam felt completely alone. His eyes darted through the crowd until he spotted Lily standing near the Ferris wheel. Her face was pale. Her hands were shaking. Sam ran up to her. What do you know? Lily bit her lip. I saw him, Sam. Henry. But, she hesitated. Something's wrong. Sam's stomach twisted. Where? She pointed toward the old fortune teller's tent at the far end of the carnival. He went in there, she whispered. But I don't think he's the Henry we know. Sam's blood turned cold. The imposter was here. The final showdown. Sam and Lily crept toward the fortune teller's tent. The air inside smelled like old incense and candle wax. A crystal ball sat on a table, reflecting the flickering candlelight. And standing behind it was the imposter Henry. He smiled when he saw Sam. Took you long enough? Sam stepped forward. Where's the real Henry? The imposter tilted his head. Right where he belongs. Sam's jaw tightened. I'm not leaving without him. The imposter sighed. Fine. You want him back? Then let's play a little game. He pulled out the silver locket. If you can open this locket before the Ferris wheel makes one full rotation, he smirked. You win. Henry comes back. Sam's heart pounded. And if I lose? The imposter's gray eyes glowed. Then you switch places with him. Sam didn't hesitate. Deal. The imposter tossed the locket onto the table. Then hurry, twin. Time is running out. The truth is the key. Sam lunged for the locket and tried to pry it open. But it wouldn't budge. He struggled, pulling at the edges, trying everything. Nothing worked. The Ferris wheel creaked, turning slowly. Lily gasped. Sam! What if it's not about strength? What if it's about the truth? Sam froze. The truth. What had the fake Henry said? This little thing? It's not just a trinket, Sam. It's a doorway. A doorway to what? Sam's mind raced back to the birth certificate, the one that had said there were 3 babies. Henry, Sam, and someone else. A triplet. That was the missing piece. Sam closed his eyes and whispered, I know who you are. The imposter's smirk faltered. What? Sam gripped the locket and said it louder. You were our triplet. The room seemed to shake. Sam looked up, locking eyes with the imposter. You were supposed to be born with us, but something happened, didn't it? Something unnatural. The imposter staggered backward. You got trapped in that shadow world, and you've been trying to take our place ever since. The Ferris wheel was almost at the top. Sam took a deep breath. You're not Henry. He squeezed the locket one last time. Click. The locket snapped open. A deafening whoosh of wind filled the tent as the shadows inside the locket burst free. The imposter screamed. A dark mist swirled around him, wrapping tighter and tighter. Then, he was gone. The real Henry returns. The wind died down. The air settled. And then, a figure stumbled into the tent. Sam? Sam turned, his breath catching. It was Henry, the real one. His eyes were normal. His face was pale. But he was back. Sam didn't even hesitate. He ran forward and pulled his twin into a hug. Never, Sam whispered. Do that again. Henry groaned. Trust me, I wasn't planning on it. Lily wiped a tear from her eye. So Does this mean no more creepy twin swaps? Henry looked at the now empty locket in Sam's hand. I think we're finally safe. For the first time in days, Sam believed it. The nightmare was over, or so they thought. Epilogue: a warning from the past. Later that night, Sam placed the now empty locket back in the old wooden chest in their basement. As he was about to close the lid, something caught his eye. An old, yellowed envelope. He picked it up. It was addressed to Henry and Sam. In shaky handwriting, the note read, "If you are reading this, then it means he tried to come back. You must never let the locket open again, because if you do, he won't be the only one returning." Sam's hands trembled. He glanced at Henry. Neither of them spoke, but they both knew this wasn't over. The end? That's the epic conclusion of the Twin Prank Wars mystery. Let me know if you want any changes or even a sequel. If you like this story, hit subscribe and comment for more for such stories. And don't forget to press the bell button. Stay tuned, and Happy and Healthy will bring more fun for you with Cool Kids Doll Art Universe.